This call is now being recorded.
Welcome to this call being recorded with your host, Samson Williams. I've got on the line Chief Space Economist for Milky Way, for Space Force, for the Universe, George S. Pullen, or as he goes by his street name, George S. Pullen. And so, Chief Space Economist George Pullen, what knowledge are you dropping on us today? Go for it.
Well, we had some great conversations at the Airforce Association Conference, and one of them was with their journal. So the official journal of the conference, but also one of the thought leaders around Air University Press is their Department of the Air Force Aether Journal. Okay? And they have a special edition coming out shortly, all focused on space power. And so I said, hey, you know what? I'd be more than happy to submit an article. And then I realized, it's been a while since I actually had to write an article like that had, 30 to 50 to even 100 different citations. Been out of grad school for a minute now, and that's just not the type of work I do anymore. So I started to go through it and look at it, and I realized I don't have 50 people that I can cite who do space economics. And so it posed a challenge when putting together their paper. So I figured the best way to start would be, instead of jumping directly into why Space Force should care about CBDCs, because that might just go straight to like a level 2 or level 300 course, we probably have to start with something around first principles. So that's going to be the new topic. It's going to be first principles, and hopefully they like it, and they'll take the submission.
So for the listening audience, which may only be your mom and my mom, and a few million of our closest friends on the internet, of course, what is first principles? What does it even mean?
Sure. So first principles, just to really break it down, is that's funny. So first principles is when you really break something down. You break it down to its component parts, to its most true essence. It actually comes from the Metaphysics by Aristotle. We don't need to get into a whole Aristotle debate here, but first principles is something that people have used for learning and for writing for a long time. And so what we want to do is we want to break the space economy down into its simplest parts. And so if I think about breaking the space economy down into its simplest parts, the first thing is, okay, let's set the stage for space. Let's set the stage for economics as it relates to great powers. And then let's paint the picture on the space economy. So bring the two ideas together and explain how they relate back to great power conflict.
Nice. So when we break down the space economy, we start off by saying, as of 2022, early October, it's worth about $502 billion. There's 5 verticals of the space economy. Upstream, which is launch; instream, which is orbit; downstream, which is all the data and money that follows the data. The fourth vertical is boldly going where no woman has gone before, research and exploration. And of course, that last one is the role of religion in space exploration, or the role of religion in the space economy. So
yes, and also we always add our extra bonus half shameless plug, which is blockchain space economy. So we put that there at the end. But for purposes of this article, that's relevant because we want to explain why they should care about CBDCs, which are central bank digital currencies, for those who aren't familiar with the acronym.
I love it. And by the way, Space Force has such a large role in determining the future of what currency not only the globe, the U.S. uses, but also the globe. Hence why we often talk about central bank digital currencies. And I feel like Chief Space Economist George Pullen that we should have an article coming out about Space Force role in determining the future global reserve currency?
Yes, that is the plan.
Excellent. So he doesn't want to say too much because he has to write it first. So, first principle, what is this phrase again?
First principle. So we want to break it down to its component parts. So we want to talk about the space economy, first principles of future great powers, because great power politics, which is essentially the struggle between the struggle between great powers when you leave a unipolar political framework for the world. So the world was largely unipolar following the end of the Cold War, and now we're moving back into a state of the world where we are either just skipping right over bipolar because it looks like both Russia and China have roles to play, but we're certainly, if not skipping it, well on our way to multipolar, where we have to consider the interactions of China, Russia, and other countries, India. We think about what our partners in Europe are doing, et cetera. And so, as we think about a multipolar world and those systems, we have to relate those back to space economic first principles, which is an overview of both space as a commercial platform, but also what the economic power mechanisms are when you talk about $4 trillion of activity.
I love it. Multi-personal, first principles. I feel like I might have dated her once upon a time. So we're going to wrap up this call. It's being recorded with your host, Samson Williams, and Chief Space Economist, George Pullen, with a shameless plug for MIT's, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology's, the new Space Economy course and program. So check them out. They're at MIT. You can Google them. They offer the new Space Economy program and course. George, of course, is freaking out because he's like, we don't teach that class, which is true. But George, remember, we can't be the Lakers without the Celtics. We need some. It just shows that the space economy is growing, as everyone from MIT to Harvard to the other guy who wrote a book entitled The Space Economy, which is sort of weird and awkward because we both showed up to prom wearing the same exact outfit because we also have a book entitled The Space Economy. It just shows that there's institutional movers who are moving into the space economy who understand that by the 2040s, why the space economy is going to be measured in the tens of trillions of dollars. That's it for the moment. Hope you're all having a great day. Stay safe, and we will see you in the next orbit. Peace.